love one another is that a new commandment? That's not a new commandment. That's been around forever. But love one another like Jesus loved, that's new. That's bold. That's hard. That's powerful. Might be impossible. Might be impossible for us to love like Jesus did. But because Jesus loved them, is this expression of how God loves us. It's how the world is shaped with love, even through all the messes we make. So this, it's a commandment. He says it's a commandment, and sometimes that sounds like this intimidating, domineering, obedient word. But this commandment is based on, hey, whatever you're going through, whatever frustration that makes you lash out, whatever pain you have that causes you to bleed on other people, you're going to be okay. We're going to be okay in this. We're going to get through it. You are surrounded by love. Amen? Okay, so based on that, there's this thing kind of a commandment. And since the world is made of love, since love pervades in every corner, just like gravity, just like electrons, just like ideas, just like light, since you are loved, guess what your response is? You get to love. You get to love others just like that, just like you saw Jesus do it, which, yeah, it sounds hard, but imagine a world that actually reached toward that. Imagine a world where everyone feels safe. Imagine a world where everyone feels, like they're special, like they have a place, like they matter in the world right now. Imagine a world where everyone feels and is made to feel important and respected. And so they make others feel safe. And so they make others feel important and respected. So they give everyone else this place to be their best self. Is that a world that you would like to live in? It'd be better. Except we don't always do that, do we? We don't always remember that God loves us. And even when we try to remember that, we don't always accept that we are worthy enough for that love. And most certainly, we don't always end up loving each other with the same depth that Jesus did. Not that we don't try. In fact, sometimes I think we think we're loving, and we defend our actions, and we build up entire organizations designed to convince others that we are so loving. When in fact, we've twisted this lesson, love one another, we've twisted it into love like we want to love, until that's too much. And then we're only going to love until we can handle it, and then not at all, and maybe then we're going to treat people exactly the opposite of what Jesus ever wanted. And that, I'm afraid, is a pattern that we see. It's a pattern that I see from a lot of times people who speak most loudly about Jesus and God and commandments in the Bible. So how does it go wrong? Where do we get it wrong? Jesus says it so clearly. Love one another, just like me. How do we go from love like Jesus to hate like I want to hate? How do we go from deep love, all caps, God's source, life-affirming, life-transforming, to justifying white supremacy as Christian, defending violent misogyny as biblical, destroying the environment because of faith, stigmatizing the poor and idolizing the rich from a place of, I don't even know where that comes from, all wrapped up in such shallow expression of lowercase love, all bubbling out of our worst self-centeredness, all stifling the lives of other people and ourselves. How does that happen? You ever wonder that? You ever turn on the TV, and you see something, and you think, how do they think that? How do they act that way and try to justify it? Where did their heart, their brain go? How does there disconnect? Like, are they evil? Are they stupid? Are they both? Like, what is wrong? I have a guess. Because that's my job, is to have guesses about these things. I have a suspicion. Yes, there's evil in the world. Yes, my heart does evil things sometimes. Most of us, however, we do not act out of bad intentions. We're not trying to be bad. No one really. Maybe. I have a theory that most of the brokenness that grabs our attention these days, most of that comes from a misguided sense of love. Maybe you think this is too generous or too accusatory, but I think that the loudest and most un-Jesus-like Christians are really trying to love. They just have a different idea of what love and Jesus-like love is. Maybe they have ideas about love and about who the other is, and maybe they work really hard to hold that up, and yet sometimes we just get wrong. We get outfoxed by others who are drunk on power. It's possible that our thoughts and our prayers become sanctified posturing that lands 180 degrees from what Jesus would ever want. Now, why do I think we often have good intentions that just get misguided? Well, because once in a while, I have good intentions that get misguided. Some of you have seen it. Some of you know it, and I haven't admitted it. Sometimes I do admit it. But I land 180 degrees from things that Jesus wants. You?
Amen.
Yeah, I would hope so. Hypocrites over here. But I try really hard, don't you? Yeah, I think so. I even make excuses for my behavior. You? Mm-hmm. Sometimes I get like love, like the big love, confused, mixed up with like the little love. I do that all the time. An example. Some of you know that I like some beer. Some beer is terrible, like Coors. But some beer, I mean, I love it. I want to go to the right places. I want to savor the flavor. I want to appreciate the craftiness of it. I want to have like a relationship with that glass. Right, Jim? Yeah, exactly, right? That example's just for him. But some of you know that what I love even more than that is skiing. I mean, I spend money on it. I try to get better at it. I take my time. I cultivate the relationship with the mountain. I mean, it's sometimes, when it goes right, it's like a prayer. I love skiing. Is that the same love that Jesus was talking about? No. Some of you love football. Yeah, Jim laughs. Some people love America. Different love than Jesus is talking about. In the Greek, some of you know this. In the Greek, the language that the New Testament was written in, the Greek word for loving things is storge. Storge, say that. Storge is like, man, I love that pizza. That movie was great. I love that. Storge is great. Every life has storge. Every life should have storge. Life can be better with a storge for going fishing. Life can be better with a storge for playing music. But if we mix up storge and the real deep love that Jesus is talking about, that love that comes from the heart of God and spreads through our lives, if we mix those up, we might end up doing all sorts of things to protect the things we love in ways that actually harm the people God calls us to love. If we mix those up, we are loving one another, but not in the way that Jesus loves. So, there's a far better way, far better love. There are people in my life who I really care about. I mean, I spend time with them. I celebrate their pain. I'm there with I celebrate their joy. I'm there with their pain. We forgive each other. We grow together. I mean, that's love, man. Dude, we are close. You got people like that. Some of you it's family, some of you it's friends, some of it's people that you do things with. You love people. Amen? Amen. Way better than love and steal. But is that what Jesus meant? Not really. That word in the Greek is phileo. Phileo. Say that one. Phileo. That's like loving each other. That's loving each other that we're connected with. And it is so important to love one another. The people that make your lives better. The people who you want to make their lives better. That's phileo. It's a great quality. It's essential to a full life. It's something that we need more and more of in our life and in the world. But it's not a commandment that Jesus is teaching. Because if I love these people who share my DNA, or we share history together, we share laughs together, we have a shared interest, if I love these people, what about those people? What about those people who look different, act different, think different? I don't understand why I do that. What do I do with them when we don't have a basis for phileo? Seems like some people who try to follow Jesus end up putting those people in cages, and they're fine with condemning their lifestyle and making their lives harder just to protect these people that they have phileo for. And that's dangerous. It's kind of gross. But that's what phileo at its worst can do. I love you, so I'll push you away. So that's not the one Jesus wants. What about this? Jesus might have meant another kind of love. The Greeks have a third word for love. It's a little more familiar to some of you. It's eros. Get your mind out of the gutter. Eros does not mean 50 shades of what you think it means. Eros is just the Bible word for the special love between two people who are connected as romantic partners. Different than loving ice cream. Different than loving your neighbor, right? I hope so. Eros, at its best, reaches towards something pure. It reaches toward something unconditional. At its best, it feels so self-giving and reciprocal, and it's like, that's what I'm meant to be. Like, in that love, that's when my full self comes out. It's almost, I think it's maybe the best thing that we can do as people to kind of point toward the deepest love that God has. I said that when he got married, when Will got married a few months ago. I started the service and said, this love is the best we've got to express the love that God calls us to. And if Jesus meant for us to treat each other like that, what a world that would be. Think of the heights of support that you have with each other and how we spread that out. The best of joy and safety, the epitome of comfort. If that's what Jesus meant, the world would be a better place. If we treated everyone the way that we're supposed to treat our husband and our wife, what an image for the world. But is that what Jesus meant for us? No. That's not the word he used. He did not say, I leave you a commandment. Eros each other. It's not the word that he used. We understand eros. I love you because you light up my life. We understand phileo. I love you because we have a connection. We understand storge. I really love that because it gives me joy. See that? Because. The holy word that Jesus used, the other word for love in Greek, is agape. Can you say that? Agape. And agape is, I love you unconditionally, regardless of who you are, in spite of what you do, irrespective of what I understand. And that's one way to say it. I'm going to get a little philosophical here. Agape love, some people say it's I love you unconditionally, or I love you, period. I think there's an extra word in there. I think real agape is I love, period. I love. God is love, right? That's in the Bible. God is love. We participate in God is love, so we love. And our love, when it's at its best, it's not pointed to you. When I'm loving at its best, it's not pointed to you, and then I take a turn and point it to you, and then I take a turn and point it to you. When I love at my best, from the source of God, I love, and it encompasses all of us. It includes all, because it spreads out. I love, period. Therefore, we are all deeper into God's love. Agape is seeing the world through a primary lens of love, not a result of any feeling, any action, any relationship. And if God meant to love like that, if that's the way that Jesus loved everyone, just start. What can I do for you? How can I love you? What if we did love each other with deep agape love? How would that feel? How would you feel first to be an object of that? Unquestionably safe and worthy. What would it be like for your anxiety if you knew that everyone who looked at you with the heart of God? How would it impact? If you knew that, if you just held onto that so tight, how would it impact the way that you responded to the rest of the world and loved back? How would you feel about then expressing your love through compassion and justice? And how would that affect the harmony of any society? What would agape say about the sort of junk that goes on that we could solve? Or sometimes the junk that happens in other places that it's harder to solve. Or sometimes the junk that happens just between you and someone you love. Or the junk that happens just between you and your own heart. What would a world of agape do to soothe that? Jesus gave a new commandment, to love as deeply as he did, with holy agape love, not with other partial senses of it. And if we follow that, imagine the prejudices erased, the defensiveness that breaks down, the virulent systems of abuse destroyed. If we followed that new commandment to love each other like Jesus loved, if we made it on earth as it is in heaven, if we even committed to trying a little bit more, trying to love like that, imagine this font of kindness and compassion. Imagine the actions of service and mission. Imagine the justice that transforms the world, and through that transforms your heart. I give you a new commandment.